I'm Zulfi Taibji. I'm the Managing Director of Value Access. I'll talk about Value Access in a bit. I started my career with Indian Express. I worked for 6 years, 5 years, odd years there. And I was in the Special Projects Division, primarily reporting to the owner, which is Vivek Goenka. And my claim to fame there was I started the Multimedia Division. We were the first newspaper group in India which launched a website, and it's been 15, 20 years since then. I then moved on into an entrepreneurial role and was the CEO of a company called ClubNet. Again, a completely new space in India. In 1996, when cellular phones launched, my company ClubNet partnered with MaxTouch, in those days Vodafone today, and we came up with cell phone rentals, primarily for people who travel from out of Bombay, who came into Bombay prior to roaming. Roaming only came 4 years, 5 years later. People come and we'd have people at the airport, counters, hotels, where people could get a SIM card and put it in their phone and use it at Bombay rates rather than their other rates. So it was quite a success for a number of years. Post that, I founded a company called A La Concierge, which currently I'm a director of. A La Concierge is a concierge services company. We run concierge desks at large multinational Indian corporations in a number of cities in India. These are employee programs that companies pay us to run. So employees come to our desk to pay bills, buy flowers to send to somebody, do courier services, travel services, ticketing, etc., etc. Primarily companies focusing on their employees, hiring us and saying, Mr. Employee, Miss Employee, don't be coming too late. Don't worry, here are these guys. They take care of all your personal needs. In fact, one of the large consulting firms that we work with, we even do the laundry. So people come to us and say, here's the laundry, and the company has stipulated which laundry we can actually go to because they have a quality control on the suits and stuff people wear. A bit about Value Access. We started in Hong Kong about 7 odd years ago, and Hong Kong still remains our head office and our IT hub where we do all our development. We run gift card, prepaid card programs, loyalty programs amongst other programs, e-couponing programs, etc. We have 100 plus brands. Today it's about 90,000 outlets, and we are currently in 11 countries: China, Hong Kong being the main place, China, India, which is a focus area for me. We're in the Middle East, Singapore, Malaysia, and we run a number of programs. So if you see on the left-hand side, these are some of the retailers. These are some of the retailers we run with. On the right-hand side, some of our technology partners. We run Facebook, PayPal, gift cards. One of the biggest gift cards we run currently is the iPhone gift card. iTunes gift card, which is the #1 gift card today in the world. We don't manage their program, but we distribute their cards across Asia. So we're not only a technology company, but we're also a third-party distributor for our own retailers' programs, as well as programs for other retailers who want us to distribute their cards. The way I've broken up the program today is I'm going to talk a bit about Gyan on what is loyalty, an approach to loyalty, what are the key elements of a loyalty program. Post that, I'll try and walk you through on defining or creating a loyalty program from scratch and wind it up with one case example of a campaign we can run of a loyalty program, and wrap it up with a question and answers. And in between each of them, I'll have a Q&A at the end of it, but if anybody wants to speak up in the middle, please do so. One of the first things I want to start with is I want to ask them in the group out here, do we have any retailers here? Wait, what vertical are you in? Hypermarket.
Yeah.
And do you run a program currently?
Yes, we do.
Which
These are the inner circle. The inner circle.
inner circle?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is lifestyle.
Yes.
Oh, great. And what do you think about um, loyalty? Everybody and their uncle is doing loyalty today. You Shopper Stop have been there from day one.
Yeah.
So what do you think, fad or fab?
See, ours is, actually I don't work for Lifestyle. There is another company under the name of Ocean, which is a hypermarket banner under same landmark group. See, our program cuts across all the retail formats of our group, which is Ocean, Lifestyle, Max, and City Max. So it's a single card. You can earn anywhere and you can burn anywhere. That's the kind of program we run. It does, for example, in our business, in hypermarket business, which is a monthly, every customer. So in case of Lifestyle, a customer doesn't need to come to the store every month, doesn't need to. Whereas in a hypermarket, it's a grocery, so every month customer comes. Close to 40% or more than of our total business comes through loyalty members in hypermarket business. And it goes up to select stores. Some of the stores have some, more stickiness of loyalty people. Like our stores in Hyderabad, it goes up to 65-70% of our turnover comes only through loyalty card members. So it does add value to our business actually. Yeah.
All right, thanks for that. Anybody else wants to add on fad or fab on loyalty today in India? Okay, so why don't I move on? Approach to loyalty. Fundamental value of doing a loyalty program is the relationship with your customer. Number one asset of a company, and everything is focused on improving that relationship. It's very difficult if you lose a customer. And the key is in the telecoms world, and I've been in the telecoms world, is what we call churn. Is there's a good percentage of customers that go away every month. How do you prevent that? Getting a new customer is extremely, extremely, extremely difficult. It's much cheaper and easier retaining your customer. The key of a loyalty program is it is a long-term commitment. Don't start a loyalty program and expect everybody to embrace it on day one. And a key to a successful loyalty program is that everybody in the organization, right from CEO to the person at the front desk, your cashier, your staff, believes in the program. It's very easy to be in a boardroom and define a loyalty program with all the experts. And we've done this and we've made mistakes with a lot of retailers. And implementing on the ground level is a different challenge, a different reality. If your employee and employees in the front level do not believe in the program, they ain't gonna sell it. So it is absolutely imperative that everybody in an organization believes in it. There are many different definitions of loyalty, but I think this is one of the best ones I've seen. It's an ongoing process. It's about identifying and creating new value with your individual customer over the lifetime association of that customer. But bottom line, loyalty is all about revenue. Unless you're going to create new revenue, do not do loyalty. What we call incremental revenue. People do loyalty programs and they shut them down because after 3 years, 2 years, whatever, they see that the program has not added any incremental revenue. So it's all about revenue. In the world of retail, and retail could be anything. It could be a grocery store, it could be hypermarkets, it could be airlines, it could be anybody where a customer is walking in and purchasing something. the key out here is if you, on the top, revenue. There are only two things you can do to increase revenue. A, you can have more people walking in, which is more transactions, or when they come in, they spend more money. Everything to do with loyalty is how can we change customer habit, influence customer habit? How can we use our programs to widen our customer base, which means new customer acquisition, more people walking in. How do we get them to come more often? People come in 2 times a month. How do we get them to come in 2.2 times a month? More money. How do we introduce new products to them? I, as a person, loves to buy shirts. And I go into a particular store, say for example, Raymond's, and I walk in and I go right. I just go to buy the shirt. I never go left to buy pants. I never go to the end of the store to buy accessories. How can you influence me to change my habit? Not to go right, but to go left and go center and go straight. How can you get me to buy new products? It's a very different thing, difficult thing. We're always innovating, we're always putting new products, restaurants have new menus coming up. How do you get me to innovate and try new things? In the F&B world, it's a great thing. Increase group size. I normally come with 4 people or I come with 2. You know that. How do you get me to come with more people? Can you reward me, incentivize me to bring more people in? Similarly, we are running a loyalty program for a healthcare chain, and majority of their business comes for corporates because the company has tied up with this healthcare chain to give all their employees a health package, and that's 70% of the healthcare company's clientele. But it's extremely worrying because if a large company drops out, that's a good chunk of the business that will go away overnight. So it's an opportunity to retain that customer, but how does that healthcare provider get not only the corporate person coming in, but how can he now get the family to come in? Not just the corporate. Can I get me, my wife, my daughter to also come in and take part in the services offered? And obviously get them to buy higher price services. Yeah, there are many reasons why one will introduce a loyalty program. But I spoke about this earlier, is reducing customer churn. Customers go away for a number of reasons. They move cities, they change jobs, move to a location where the store or the program they're with doesn't exist, or they just get tired of you. But the key is, if you have a successful loyalty program, customer churn reduces by about 25%, and that's a significant number. Increase share of wallet. How can you get me to buy more services, more products from your store and not have me go to multiple places? Increase cross-sell. Like I said, I go to Raymond's to buy shirts. How do you get me to buy other products that you have to offer? For a good example is here a grocery store that found that 40% more likely to purchase another brand because they had brand affinity. And attract new customers. Again, telecom is a great example. It's a transaction business, telecom, and so is retail. best loyalty is actually word of mouth. And how, if I can get you to be my brand ambassador, I've won half the battle. You don't necessarily need to put a card or something in somebody's pocket. Once one introduces a loyalty program, what are we trying to do? We're trying to get customer demographics. Who is my customer? Where are they from? What do they do? What are their habits? What do they like to spend money on? What do they buy? And what are the different types of customers I have? And this is not value access, but typically we break down a customer excuse me, into 3 categories. One is a fan. He's a customer who spends primarily the category budget almost exclusively with that brand. So for example, I pretty much go to one typical salon only. I don't necessarily jump between this salon and another salon. So that's a fan. I love you. A switcher is somebody who goes between 2 or 3 different types of maybe brands. So I go to this salon, or I may go to another salon, or I go to 2 or 3 different type of hypermarkets or department stores. And an occasional is somebody who doesn't really care. He'll go where the best deal is or where it's convenient for that person. Loyalty is not about your loyal customer. Loyalty is about the switcher, the guy in the middle. He is the person who is a large chunk, who is not coming to you as often as the fan is. And the key is, how can I get the switcher, which is the biggest chunk, to move to becoming a fan? So if you see up there, frequency, I cannot make a fan come more often. He is coming and spending all his budget with you. He can't. You can't have more additional visits. The switcher is the key. How can I get that guy to move from 2 visits a month to 2.2 visits a month? Yes, I can introduce new products, more products, upsell the fan. But do the same with the switcher. And churn improvement. You can't ignore your fan. He is your loyal customer. You need to keep that person happy. And get him to be happy and increase his lifetime spend. But again, as I demonstrate out here, it's all about the person in the middle, the switcher. How can I get that person to come more? When we launch a loyalty program, typically, it's simple. We launch a program with 2 or 3 messages. I, as a hypermarket chain, have this new program. Customer join up, and for every X you spend, you'll get either Y points or Y cashback. That's why the customer will join the program. But what is in it for the retailer? Key to the retailer is the insight that he gets about the customer. Demographics. Who is the customer? Who's in his family? Where are they from? Where do they fit in? Geographically, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, what is their socio-economic background? Transaction. Every time I come into the store, what am I buying? Where am I buying? Which store am I when I buy something? When? What time of the day am I coming in? What is my value? When I, as a retailer, interact with my member of the program, what are their attitudes? What do they like? What do they prefer? What do they prefer? What are their desires and needs? And how do they interact with the offers I give them? Do they like them? Do they not like them? Once I have all this data, we tend to analyze it and churn all this data into what we call influence. Because once you have insights, only then can you influence a customer to do a certain action, change their habit. But the key is, again, enhance profitability, deliver new revenue, and best customer marketing, which is the buzzword now in the world of retail. As you see on the left-hand side, it's an analysis of data. What are they spending? When are they spending? It's very, very key to know what time of the day is the customer coming in. How are they paying? Are they paying by cash? Are they paying by credit card? Are they paying by prepaid card? Are they paying by which credit card? When they come in, what is their group size? What personal data do I have about my customer? And what do I really want to collect? What is their visit frequency? How often do they come to me? Key is, when did they last come in? And what is their basket? What are they buying? Once we have this data, we can use various tools to incentivize, influence, reward them, communicate with them, and create revenue opportunities by changing their habit. Can I get them to come more often? Can I get them to spend more money? I know that nobody's coming in the electronic chain that I have between 2 and 4 in the afternoon. I have full store staff, air conditioners are on, electricity is running. Can I drive traffic in quiet times? Can I influence people? If you come in for a health checkup on a weekday, you get something better. You get an offer. You get a benefit. Can I get increased reward by a different payment type? So we did this with a pizza chain in Hong Kong. And we found that majority of the people were paying by Visa. So the pizza chain approached Amex and said that if you pay by Amex, you get double reward points. And they found that there was a 20% increase. Amex was very happy. 20% increase in overall sales, not just people moving from Visa to Amex. Amex was happy. Store was very happy. Customer was happy. And Amex paid for the increased rewards. They paid for the difference, the double points. Surprise and delight is a wonderful thing in the world of loyalty today. You do not necessarily need to tell me about every promotion you're doing, but it's nice to be surprised and delighted every now and then. So we ran this promotion for Pacific Coffee in Hong Kong and China, where we have about 700, 800 stores. They are Starbucks equivalent in a little bit up end. And we did not tell the customer anything. But every 10th transaction when they came in and they bought something, they got a free piece of cake. On the 20th transaction, they got a free cappuccino, and the 30th, and so on. And people were very happy because they did not know about it. And then the guy behind the line was saying, why didn't I get that? So, join the program. Visit frequency. I know people come in 2.5 times a month into my store. I know ladies come in 2.2 times a month. How do I get people to come in more? Lapsed customer is a customer in the world of, say, F&B of a particular type, you know that people should be coming to you 2 times every 3 months. Person's not come to you in 3 months. That's a problem. How do I get that person to come back to me? Can I influence them? And finally, once we know what products they're buying, can I widen their product mix? So the key, again, is data. I have data, I can analyze the data, I can influence it, influence the customer to change habit and drive new revenue, or what I call incremental revenue. A few examples of increasing visit frequency. We take our database and we slice and dice it. And we do a campaign for everybody who's visited us in 3 months, last 3 months. And we influence them by giving them an e-coupon or, say, an accessory if this is a mobile store or if this is a garment, and get them to come in on a particular day during lunch hours. We communicate the offer, we track it, and we see how it works. A lapsed customer, and I'm going to give this as a case study later, is person who's not come in the last 3 months or X months. Again, send them a coupon of a 20% discount. Can we get them to come in? If even 20% of those people came back to you, that's a substantial number. Driving traffic to specific stores. This is important. You have a new store opening, or you have a store that's not doing particularly well. We know our customer database, we have a communication channel with them, which is absolutely key. We can send a communication, again, with an offer to drive them to the new store or the store that's not doing well. New revenue. And cross-category spend. This is me again going to Raymond's, buying a shirt, or excuse me. Take, for example, SRS Group in North India, whom we run a loyalty program for. They have a number of different verticals. So they have cinemas, they have grocery stores, they have jewelry shops, they have electronic stores. So can I get people moving from one category to the other? I know people come into my grocery store, but how do I get them to come in to my F&B outlets or other verticals of mine? As we launch a loyalty program, we take it in 2 steps. And we as a technology provider are more than a technology provider. Value Access, apart from providing technology, also provides what we call intelligence and knowledge. So we sit with the retailer and define the program and help them to make the program a success. And we have a number of capabilities, and technology is rapidly evolving, and most retailers we start the program with, yeah, I want to do everything. I love what you have to offer. I want to do everything. I want to know everything about my customer, right down to whether he wears yellow socks or red socks, everything. And we go, no, stop. You can't do everything on day one. Keep your program very simple as you start. When you start a new program, you're telling the customer, I have a new program. You're joining the program. This is what you need to do to join the program. If you join the program, you're going to get X, Y, and Z. And in the future, this is how we will communicate to you. So already you have given the customer 5 to 6 messages. It's way too much for the customer to absorb that much information. And it's too much of a promise. In the old world, I remember advertisements, one ad, one message. Today, pick up the newspaper, the single ad, 8 messages. Buy a Verona car, these are the 10 different things you get if you buy a Verona car, the benefits. Too much for a customer to absorb. The key is, unless you have enough of a database, you can't do any analysis. So only until you reach your KPIs that I want X many thousand customers, can we do some analysis. Establish some customer communication channel and habit where the customer accepts and likes to read what you are sending to him. Don't confuse the customer by over-communicating with them. So he's got to have some trust with you. And create some aspirational benefit. Spend X, get Y. Simple program. Once we've reached a certain level, we now go into the revenue phase. Insights and learnings, upgrade the programs, create different customer type groups. You can do bronze, silver, gold, platinum, whatever. And now create all the aspirational habit-forming benefits to drive revenue. So just an example of a very, very successful program from the US, Subway, not us running the program. They launched the program in 2006. In 5 years, they had a simple program. Didn't do much, collected very, very simple amount of data, communicated simply to the customer, offers every now and then. In 2011, they completely revamped the program. And every time a Subway customer interacted, whether on the telephone, whether through the net, or whether in store, they were collecting attitudinal data by a very simple interaction with the customer. So, by the way, which city were you in this week? Simple stuff. But they were getting a lot of insight into that customer. And they were collecting this data and over time, using that insight to do segmentation and multi-layered interaction. And it's become an extremely sophisticated program. Some of the success criterias, like I said, it has to be a company-wide initiative. Major investment in customer and staff, because they're the ones who are going to make your program successful. There are many, many, many loyalty programs in India. In fact, too many. But not sure how many are successful and whether it is really driving to the bottom line. Make the program simple so you can find the right customer. You do not want everybody to join your program. It's expensive. Loyalty is not cheap. Reward should be relevant to a customer. I am a member of a number of airline programs. I have millions of miles on a particular program. I honestly, till today, have never, ever redeemed those miles because I don't know how to do it. It's very difficult. I need to go online, I need to do something, and I need to do something again, and then it'll come to me, and it's difficult. It's made it too difficult. There was a program I'm a member of, and I won't name the airline. Every time I fly that airline, I fly Bombay, Delhi, I get 109 points. And if I book on the net, I get 250 points extra. I had about 200,000, 300,000 points. I wanted to fly Bombay, London, Bombay last year. I redeemed my points. It was redeeming 80,000 points of mine to give me a Bombay, London, Bombay ticket. The catch was I had to pay the taxes and the fees and the additionals extra over and above my 80,000 points. 80,000 points has taken me a long time to collect. If I'm getting 100, 200 points, the extras I had to pay was 30,000 rupees. If I bought a ticket without redeeming points, it cost me 43,000 rupees. So for 13,000 rupees saving, I was giving 80,000 points. I was like, I didn't feel too happy. No, I flew that airline all the time saying, I'll get points, I'll get points, I'll get points, I'll get free tickets to London. Nothing. I was pretty upset. Crack the communication habit. Do not communicate with your customer unless you have something of value to communicate with them. Key message. This same particular airline sends me 5 emails a day, every single day. I stop reading them. They just go straight into my delete. Few months back, I was emptying my delete folder, and when I delete my folder, I'm sure most of you do this. You do it from, so you see all the froms. And I found that 3 months back, this airline has actually given me an upgrade voucher, free. It was valid for 10 days, but I never used it because I just deleted. Everybody out here, how many messages have we been getting for this event in the last few days? Do we read them? We don't. So it's key that we communicate just what the customer wants to hear. Do not over-communicate. Again, make it easy for the customer to check the progress of the program, where they're at, what are the offers they have. And do not charge, and this is a very personal belief, do not charge the customer to participate in your program. I mean, that's a very personal belief. The #1 loyalty program in India today is Shoppers Stop, and they charge the customer to participate. They've changed it now a little bit because they're giving gifts and rewards in equivalent of what they're charging. But in the earlier days, they did charge. So I stand corrected on that, and that's a big argument. But I personally believe you should not charge the customer. And keep it simple. So that's part 1. Any questions, any comments before we move to defining a program?
Yeah. With your experience, if we start with the program and take very initial data from the customer, how easy is to take more data after, say, a year or 2?
Good question. There's no perfect program, by the way. #1. #2, no program is identical. There are pros and cons of taking little information, and I'm going to come to that in defining the program. The simplest way of, you want people in the program, but the more the information you want, the less the people will join the program. The less the information you ask them to give, the more the people will join the program. So there's a pro and a con. So to answer your question, we do a program where we're collecting. To join the program, all you need to do is send an SMS with your email ID, and that's it. So all we have is the phone number and the email ID, because phone number comes automatically. But I don't know their name, I don't know their gender, I don't know where they're from, I don't know anything. But this is enough for a start. Your question, can I get more information later? Yes. So in the phase 2, we now incentivize them to go online and fill in more information. And then we reward them for that. So if you get more information, I'm giving you something. Whether it's 100 rupees loaded onto your account, or I'm giving you a coupon for a free cappuccino, depending on category you are. So there's a pro and a con.
And one more thing, now with the social media coming, is it email a better option or connecting through them in a social media where data is already?
Could you repeat?
So using the social media to connect with the, which is our Facebook, Twitter. So have you seen an example where loyalty is through the social media, communication is through social media
Only.
only?
Again, I'm going to come to that when we define a program. Again, there's no perfect answer. We run programs where the communication channel is decided by the customer, not by you. So customer defines how we should communicate with them. Sophisticated loyalty program we run is we collect, we know how you are communicating with us. Therefore, we communicate to you in the reverse. I know you're communicating with me from an app. So I communicate to you through the app, or email, or mobile, or otherwise. So there's, one program could have all of, any and all.
Good morning. My question is very simple. You mentioned about phasing out the loyalty program. In your experience, what is the typical gestation cycle for phase one in the QSR and the retail space?
In the QSR?
Quick service restaurants?
Yeah, in QSR?
Yes.
It's a database. Is depending on how large you are, a substantial database, enough for you to be able to churn data. Because unless you have enough data about the customer, there's not much we can do. But in my experience, most loyalty programs is minimum 3 months, minimum, before you can even start getting into phase two. But typically it's around 6 months before you do simple things in phase one, but you do more sophisticated things in phase two. So minimum 6 months, I would say, for more sophistication. Would anyone like a 5-minute break? We can take offline questions. Bathroom break. So, what I'm going to attempt to do is walk through defining a loyalty program, and in our world is what we call creating a program definition of a new loyalty program, which once done, we put in the back end and the front end processes. Must say out here that no loyalty program is perfect on day one. It's a ever evolving program. But the fundamental when you start doing it is try to think of the larger picture. There's no right answer. It's always evolving. As a customer to any retailer, there are a number of interaction points that a customer has with you. Whether it's at the point of sale, whether it's on Facebook, online, through surveys, through feedback forms, through marketing, whatever. There are a number of points where you are reaching out to customer or the customer is reaching out to you. And this is where the example of Subway, they have tried to get data and inferences from those various touch points. So I'm going to talk through a bit about loyalty program execution, and these are the various items that go into from start to finish of making a program. But the first thing is, what is the scope of work? As far as the customer goes, what do you want from the customer, and what does the customer want from you? As a business, what is your objective? What are the opportunities? How do we set up the operations, the processes, both the front and the back, the customer interaction points? What data are we willing to collect from a customer or the customer's interaction with us? And this is the key and fundamental to any program, is the data that we collect. How much data are we collecting? And what all data are we collecting? And finally, how are we going to set up the whole technology? Once we have that, we pretty much create the architecture of the program. If you see at the bottom is the various points. First it's data capture. The interaction, personal data of the customer. The transaction data. Every time the customer comes to me and transacts with me, what transactional data am I capturing? And what is the interaction data I'm capturing of the customer? And I'll talk in length about all these. The program. What is it? What are the rules? What are the rewards? Who am I targeting? How am I breaking them down into various segments? How am I communicating with the customer? And as the gentleman earlier said, what device? Is it Facebook, online, social media? And finally, how do I make the program work? How do I get insights and influence them? Let the customer manage his membership and the various reportings that go into that. The first key is personal data capture. This is member joining the program. How am I capturing their information and how much do I want to capture? Do I make them go online? Do I do it at the point of sale? On Facebook? Or do I do it through a simple filling up a form? Or is it via SMS? There are pros and cons to everything, as I said. And there's no perfect answer. So you may have a multiple channels of collecting this information. So you actually allow the solution to be defined by the consumer. You give the customer number of channels, choices, and collect their data. And again, how much data do we want to capture? Is it just 2-3 pieces of information, or is it a lot of pieces of information? And everything need not be collected on day one. Transaction data is when I come in and spend money. What am I buying? When am I buying? How much am I buying? Where am I buying? How am I paying? What am I buying? And what am I buying can go down to category level. So say in a supermarket, it is FMCG. It can then go on down to coffee. It can go down to even which brand of coffee I'm buying, and can go down to even one more level of that is how much, which flavor of which brand of coffee am I buying. So again, how much data does one want to capture? It's difficult. It's a compromise because too much data also is difficult. I mean, programs like Tesco at one point were collecting probably one of the best loyalty programs in the world. Is Tesco supermarkets in the UK were collecting down to amazing levels of SKU, and they've gone a complete reverse and said we can't manage it. It's just way too much data. I can't go down to individual marketing to that level. Every time my customer interacts with me, this was your point, is I'm capturing the way they're interacting with me. They interact with me when they come to my point of sale. They interact with me when they come to my Facebook page. They for my store, website, app. I collect that data. I now know what are their attitudinal preferences, desires, and needs from a interaction perspective. I can take all that and create brand interaction with that person, right down to store location. What are the rating rules and rewards? I mean, end of the day, your customer is going to join your program only if you're going to give them something. You may have all the reasons in the world for them to join your program, but unless you give them something, they ain't going to join. So, is it a points-based program? Is it a cash-back program? Today, a world seems to be moving away from points because points is rather difficult. Cashback is spend X, get Y. I'm taking the moral high ground and giving you the money. Do what you want with it. Points is difficult. Again, you're making the customer do something. But again, different retail categories, points works. And it's important because perceived value in points is far greater than cash. You know, I'm giving you 1 million points. Perception. Again, rating. You can have different rating rules. So, you know, spend 100 rupees, get 10% cash back, or get 1 point, or 100 points, whatever. So you can have different rating rules for different tiers. Bronze, silver, gold, platinum. You can have different rules for different spends. You buy Coke, you get double rewards. You're doing a promotion with Coke. Coke will sponsor the double rewards. Again, by time. Your store is not doing well in the day. Different rating rules for people who come in 2 to 4 in the afternoon, happy hour. You can do different rating rules by location. So, new store in Gurgaon, store not doing well. You can do it by frequency, by data, by payment type, the Visa example I gave you earlier. Registration, second level of registration, and so on. Again, is it real time? Is it batch? Am I giving you your points instantly, or am I giving it to you tomorrow? In the world of loyalty, tomorrow is always better. Why give him today or instantly? Discount is not loyalty. If he's coming to spend the money, if the person has come in, don't give him discount today. Give it to him for their next visit. The key is getting the person to come for additional visits. What is included? What is excluded? Inclusion, exclusion. You can have exclusions. So once one is defining a program, there are multiple permutations and combinations one can have. And like I said, everything need not be done on day one, and everything is not cast in stone. You can change things. If you're giving 10% rewards today, you can give 20 tomorrow. 10 should not become 5. So start it simple, conservative, and then go up. What is the device that the customer identifies themselves to earn and burn? It can be a number of things. It can be MagStripe, so it can be a simple card-based program. It can be RFID, so it's tap and go. In the QSR world, it works very well. Tap and go because it's quick. But again, it's more expensive because you need to put in those readers. It can be a simple barcode program. It can be a program with a mobile number. But there is a con in that. If you have nothing physical, there's a possibility of fraud. And as we all know, fraud typically in stores is internal rather than external. So if I come in with my mobile number and I've got 1,000 rupees on my balance, and somebody is the cashier and has only my mobile number, can easily steal some of my value. So we can put in OTP, we can put in a PIN number, we can create fraud control mechanisms. Again, there is risk and reward. So in the home, the hospital services company I was talking about, healthcare services, they didn't worry about the fraud. They said, okay, what are they going to steal? X-rays? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. So they're running a whole program just off a mobile number. Give your number, that's your identifier. It can be run off an app, or it can be just a manual entry. I give my name. That's enough for me to be earning and burning. And you can have different rules for both earning and burning. So on earning, just give your name or mobile number, not a problem. But on burning, bring something. Different horses for different courses. So we run a program for Pacific Coffee in Hong Kong and China. We actually run the program, people with MagStripe. We run it off QR codes. I'm just tapping my phone now. I'm not even or a mobile number. We have an RFID card, so we have actually 6 different ways a person can identify themselves in the store. Like I said, communication is key. Unless you can communicate with your customer, the program is pointless. What are the ways to communicate? Email, SMS. SMS, there are limitations. If I'm giving you an e-coupon, which is a free cup of coffee, I can't put a picture on it because my phone is outdated. I don't get pictures on it. Good old TRAI in India, who knows what they're going to do next, when they're going to stop what type of messages going through. So there are pros and cons. WhatsApp, Facebook, website, mobile app. There are a number of ways to communicate with the customer. And there's no one answer. So a program may have multiple choices. There are some routine communication messages one sends monthly, like your billing statement of your credit card. And there are what we call targeted promotions and campaigns, pulling you in, insights, influencing you, driving you in to do some actionable campaigns. Membership management. Once I've become a member, how do I manage my own membership? Again, we take all the devices on the front end. I can amend my data, I can unsubscribe, I can do balance inquiry, I should be able to see what coupons I have, what do I do, get member competitions, etc., etc. So basically, it's member managing their own world within the program, and we set it up accordingly. Reporting. This is fundamental. End of the day, the retailer wants to know what's happening in the program. So you can get static reports and you can get dynamic reports. And dynamic reports can be set up by country, by region, by group, by brand, by vertical, by time, by period, by different people. You can slice, dice, anything you want, basically to segment your customer in any possible manner. And once you have that data to run campaigns, so the first thing you do is get the history and data of your customers in the program. Do some analysis and gain some insights. Okay, now I've got some insights. Extract data, which is my target list. So now I'm extracting data. Say I want to do I'm a fashion retailer. I want to do a extraction of ladies who have come in the last 3 months, aged 21 to 25. I want to do a particular campaign only for those people. We then create the influencers, which is giving them something to draw them in. So it could be a coupon, it could be a gift, it could be anything. And this is all electronic. So we execute the campaign, which means take that list, send it, communicate to them that this is what the campaign is. The campaign is for you. You get X, Y, and Z if you buy this. Or just come into my store and here's a free gift for you. and it's valid till so-and-so date. And at the end of the campaign, we see what the response is, and we do what I call an ROI of that particular campaign. I keep talking about coupons, so let me just explain what I mean by a coupon. A coupon, to me, is a little different than the coupons we get on phones or websites saying, please enter so-and-so number in your thing and you'll get this particular discount. Those coupons are generic. They are standard and apply to everybody. So I can use that coupon, you can use it, everything. We know the effectiveness of that coupon, but I can't link it to a particular customer. Our coupons are a little different. We link them to the account. So I have segmented, in this particular month, I'm doing 4 different campaigns. I give different types of coupons out. Coupons can be by different expiry rules. So this coupon is a 20% off. This coupon is a buy one, get one free. This coupon is a freebie. This coupon is a free cappuccino. They have different expiry rules. This coupon is for the whole year. This coupon is for the month. This coupon is only for Tuesday afternoon, 2 to 4. This is only for the weekend. And they can have different permutations and combinations. They can be by location. So this particular coupon is across India. This is only for Mumbai. This is only for In-Orbit Mall in Malad. So you can play around with these different combinations. We load up the coupons at the back end and we send them out to that particular targeted person. Communicate the offer. The moment that offer reaches the person, when they come into the store and they identify themselves as a member, the store staff on the screen sees that, hey, Zulfi has got these particular coupons available to him in this particular store. I may have more coupons that are available elsewhere, but for this particular store. And like you take money off the card, you just take the coupon off. And I use the coupon. I, as a customer, can go online or whatever on Facebook or through SMS or however and check what are my availability of the coupons. The beauty about coupons is they are the influencer for your campaigns. End of the day, you may communicate a campaign, but really you need to give me something to come to you. Otherwise, I ain't coming. A few case studies we have done with coupons which are quite interesting. The first one I talked about is Pacific Coffee. We've done in Pacific Coffee again, some game of eye butterfly in the store, and if you catch them, you get free coupons. We did something on Facebook with them. The first 100 likes got free coupons of coffee mugs or 20% off or etc. A couple case studies. Pacific Coffee is one of our big clients. We started with them in Hong Kong. We're now across every outlet in China. It's about 700-800 outlets. Currently, we reached their lifetime target of number of customers. You were asking phase 1, lifetime target in the first 3 months with them, which is pretty incredible. And they actually are quite a simple program. They've not reached the level of sophistication yet. Because, like I said, technology is technology. I mean, the coupon thing, what I say, the permutations, the combinations we can do is maddening. But eventually, there's only so much a consumer can understand. There's only so much a store staff can understand. So try and keep it as easy as possible while technology can get ahead of you. And Pacific Coffee has been extremely successful, and until 3 years ago, Starbucks did not have a loyalty program in the world. They only had a prepaid card program, and they were the #1 prepaid card program in the world. And their prepaid card program was not a gift card program, although they call it a Starbucks gift card, it was more for self-use. People were buying it for themselves. They were not giving any bonus for people to buy for themselves. It was just pure convenience. In the US, convenience is big. In Asia, convenience is not as big. We want something. Give me more than just convenience. When Starbucks launched their loyalty program worldwide, they used the Pacific Coffee as a best practice guide. Sorry, the Pacific Coffee program as a best practice guide. We felt pretty good about that, actually. We ran a very interesting program with KFC in Hong Kong. They did not have a loyalty program with us then, they do now. But all they did is on Facebook, on the Facebook page, you went to the Hong Kong KFC page and they had a little campaign running and you said join. And all they wanted was your mobile number. So either it was automatically fetched or you said, I'll enter it. The moment you entered it, it came to us, Value Access, and we sent out to that mobile number 5 coupons of 5 different items free of cost that they could get on home delivery. The moment I, as a customer, call up the call center from my mobile number, the call center executive already on the screen pops up what I have as the 5 coupons and tell me, sir, which one would you like to avail? And I tell them which one I want. Say, for example, the new hot wings that they came out with. And it came free to me. We at the back end, because KFC wanted this to continue, would top it up. So 5 minus became 4, but we added 1 new one. At the end of the campaign, 3-4 things KFC got out of this. Because they were doing loyalty, next, they got a database whom they could migrate into the program very quickly when they got a new loyalty program going. Second thing they did is got customer habit to communicate with them. 3, got their Facebook page very popular, giving things free. And 4th, they were doing product testing. At the end of 3 months, they found out which was the product that was most availed of, and they put that on the regular menu, eventually. Quite successful. Having said that, these are wonderful things to do, but end of the day, no matter how small or big a program you need to do, you need somebody within your company, the retailer's organization, to manage the program. Somebody needs to see and manage the fraud. So we create thresholds. You can't get rid of fraud, you can mitigate fraud. Somebody needs to do performance monitoring. What is happening, identifying the opportunities, creating campaigns, and execution of that. And what is the ROI on that particular campaign? What are the lessons learned? So one of the campaigns we did with Pizza Hut on their loyalty program some time back is we loaded on 200 rupees onto their card and said, this is free money for you to spend in the month of February, Valentine's month. On the 1st of Feb, we communicated to them. On the 15th of Feb, we communicated to those who had not used it. And 4 days before the expiry, again, we communicated to the guys who had not used it. The lesson we learned is that about 35% of the people used it, which is substantial. The program paid for itself by 8 times. There was uplift of 800%, which means people were spending 8 times what actually was the free amount that was given, the 200 rupees. In fact, the head of the Titan Group loyalty program, when I was with him in a meeting, said, when I told him about this, he said to me, I did that. I went with my wife and I spent 1,400 bucks. And I would have never gone unless I'd got this damn thing. My wife made me go. I said, if I can fool you, I can fool anybody in the world. So it was interesting. But what we did not do, unfortunately, is because we are revamping their program, is we should have gone back 3 months later and said that how many of those people actually came back again? Did they keep coming back? We did this with people who were not coming. So did they come again, or did they only come because I induced them to come? Number two, was 200 right? Would 100 have worked? And so on and so forth. So you need to do ROI not only off the campaign, but post-campaign also. That's as far as defining a program. It's a long discussion. Typically when we define a program, we go into a dark room with the retailer and we spend pretty much a day and a half going through these in great detail. Any questions on defining a program before I just wind up with an example of a campaign?
See, we are from a manufacturing side. We are from a manufacturing company. Typically, our customers are the retailers.
Yeah.
So, with your experience with when we are doing a loyalty with a retailer, there are something which we have to do differently because it sounds quite similar talking to a customer or a retailer.
There's no difference.
No difference.
You are manufacturers of...
We are from Nestle, so food company. So
okay.
directly.
So, fantastic. So, when I talk about e-coupons, I, as say a hypermarket chain, am giving out e-coupon to my customer to get them to do something. You as Nestle are keen on promoting your brand. You tie up with the retailer, say, I sponsor your e-coupon. Drive them to my aisle. Right? So you want, there's no difference.
So what I was referring was, if I am making a retailer loyal to Nestle, not the customer. So in a traditional trade point of view, where there are millions of retailer who buys different company brands, so how, when I do a retailer loyalty program, is there a typical difference which we have to keep in mind, or can we go?
Not particularly. You have to just define the objective of your program and who the customer is. A customer is a customer. It does not really make a difference. And you can tailor your program, and we can have an offline discussion on this, because we have done programs for companies that are truck manufacturers, you know, automobile companies. So it's loyalties, and I'm not talking about loyalty is a company that is wanting to sell something, and there is a consumer wanting to buy something. So it need not be your typical card-based loyalty program. I mean, you can have a loyalty program for LIC and its agents. So eventually you're just wanting them to spend more money with you and not go elsewhere. But there's a huge opportunity for you in the reverse of what I spoke about. I'll move on to the final bit.
Hello. Sorry, I got a question.
Hi.
Say I represent Tata Salt. Hello, can you hear me?
Not really.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I represent Tata Salt. Tata Salt. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, now if you're running a loyalty program, now supposing I decide in the month of say January, and maybe 6 months down the line, I want to check what is the performance of that particular loyalty program. So what should be the ideal number we should look at, like in terms of repeat customers?
I'm sorry, I've not completely understood your question.
See, you're running a loyalty program in the month of January.
Launched a new program.
Correct. And after 6 months, you want to launch one more program, and you want to know what should be the ideal retention of that other people coming back from the loyalty program, which they already enjoyed in the month of January.
Okay, again, different verticals, different things. So for example, an electronics chain, you don't expect the customer to come more than 2 times a year. A fashion retailer, you expect a customer to come 4 times a year. So depending on the vertical, how often do you expect a customer to come? Hypermarket chain, you expect a customer to come at least 5 times a month.
Okay.
So it varies from vertical to vertical.
No, a typical FMCG product, a daily use consumption product.
FMCG.
Yeah.
So it's a retailer,
Retailer.
typically 5 to 6 times a month. You would
That's
expect a person to come.
okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to take one example of a campaign. And this is what I call a lapsed customer. Somebody who's been coming to you, but has stopped coming to you for whatever reason. How do we revive that customer and get them to come back to us? So first is I analyze who the customer is, I influence them by giving them a coupon, I track the results, and then what is my ROI? So what is the input I get in the analysis? Registered customer who has not visited in the last X many months. So say for example, last 3 months. Or we could do a lapsed customer who's 3 visits in previous 1 year. Fashion retailer. Or you can do it by spend. You can do a number of various ways how you want to categorize the particular lapsed customer. Again, depending on your vertical you're in. You have this huge database. You say, okay, now I want to know everybody in my universe who has not come in. And I have all the data about them. Name, contact, where are they, which store do they belong to, etc. And when was their last visit date. We create some kind of an offer, which we did in the Pizza Hut program, some kind of a bonus. Say, for example, 500 rupees added on. Simple communication and what is the validity of the program? Example, 1 month expires. Threshold. Example, can have a threshold, need not have a threshold. You get this 500 only if you spend 2,000. Some people say, I don't care, come spend it. I brought you back, I'll give you a good experience, I'll make sure you come back again. Up to you. Permutations and communications. So therefore, it's communication complexity versus protect margin. Threshold is protecting your margin. Don't give it free. Finance guy is always going to kill the marketing guy. We influence them by sending them the communication at the beginning of the promotion, midway through the promotion. Again, we know who's come, who's not availed of the promotion. And we track it. What has been the acceptance and spend during the promotion period? And like I said, acceptance and spend post-promotion period. It's very, very, very key to know how is that customer behaving post that period. And therefore we calculate the ROI. And what has been my cost of my program? And like this, one can do a number of campaigns, but the key of doing a campaign is you need to have a pre-campaign ROI and a post-campaign ROI. I'm just going to leave you with these 4 thoughts, what's coming next in the world of loyalty. People are doing all of this, but it's going to become more and more common, is predictive intelligence forecasting. So when I spoke about Tesco's, one of the things they do is, when I bought diapers at 3 months, or rather I went into Tesco's and bought diapers for a 3-month-old baby, actually, 3 months later, they're sending me offers for diapers for a 6-month-old baby. That's how sophisticated they are. It's pretty intelligence forecasting. Currently, most programs are doing segmentation in categories because you can't go down to individual level. But that will change. We will get down to individual person casting as time and technology improves and becomes cheaper and manageable. How can we do instant gratification at the point of sale? And in-store location-based programs or promotions. iPhone has just launched iBeam. We're working with a grocery chain in Hong Kong and China where our members, the moment they walk into the store, we know they've walked into the store. We know when they're in the F&B aisle. We know what they have bought in the F&B aisle in the last 3 months. And we know we can push a Nestle product to them when they're in front of the Nestle aisle. Very sophisticated, but it's coming. And that's how the level of sophistication is going to be at loyalty. Push an offer which is relevant to me at that very moment and where I'm in the store. Thanks a lot. Any questions for anybody?
Hello.
Zulfi, this is a question from the consumer side. As a consumer of loyalty cards, I get tired of stacking up card after card after card. We've seen it in the airline space where there has been consolidation. We've recently seen it in the credit card space as well. When do you think the consumer can expect some kind of consolidation of having to carry just one physical card?
Your last question was?
When do you expect that the consumer can just have one loyalty card to carry and access multiple touch points?
Okay. Good question. I've been waiting for that question since morning. We all have number of loyalty cards. There's only so many we can carry. We're working with a company in Singapore which is taking one card and on that card can put in as many program partners as possible. It's not, I'm not talking a payback kind of a card, but it can be a card which can have 5 different supermarkets on one, run by 5 different providers. That world is coming soon. The world is also coming where the card is thrown in the bin. I am the identifier across different loyalty programs. I can't remember PIN numbers. I can't remember anything. So that is coming. As we get towards NFC, NFC will become me eventually. But it will all happen. It's going to take time, but I work with retailers in India who insist I want to have a card-based program. So there's no right answer, but it will all happen. Eventually, it's going to be some form of this, or it's going to be some form of me. That's going to come.
Hello. Sir, in a trade channel program, in a program which is a trade channel program specifically designed for retailers, when you say calculating the ROI of a program, there are several trade marketing activities that happen which influence the sale as well, rather than just the program. So for calculating the ROI, is the redemption one of the hard matrices that needs to be taken in
Is
account?
what?
Is the amount of redemptions happening, the points, or the percentage of points being burned or redeemed?
Typically, yes. Redemption is big. There are loyalty programs that don't want you to redeem points, to be honest. Like, for example, the airline program I was talking about earlier, honestly doesn't want me to redeem my points. There are programs that do want you to redeem your points because then it's making sure that you come back. So again, different retailers have different objectives on whether they want you to redeem or not redeem. So I don't know if that answers your question, but...
Yes, and there's one more question. It is often said that there are 3 things in a program. If done correctly, the program will be successful. It's activation, it's communication, and then it's redemption. And the weightage given to all these 3 things will probably depend on the kind of objective you have with the program.
Absolutely.
So in India, typically the engagement part, which is the communication part, is there are very few, or probably you can count it on your fingers, companies who are concentrating on the engagement part. And however, the trend in the Western countries are probably more on the engagement aspect of the program. So companies like Shopper Stop, who has a First Citizen program, and they say that 80% of their sales come through the First Citizen Club. But to be very honest, it is just an incentive program, and it's not a loyalty program because it doesn't have an engagement aspect in the program. So any views on such kind of activities in India?
I mean, to be honest, the Shopper Stop loyalty program is evolving very rapidly. It's a great program. It got a huge number of people in. It's run for a number of years only on the name of the program, but it is evolving. It is now, Vinay Bhatia, who runs the program, friend of mine, he used a very good example. He now knows that people buy shirts from him. He's now concentrating on how can I get the guy who buys shirts from me to buy trousers also. So it is, loyalty programs are moving away from me giving you something, but not caring anything about after that. It's really, it's getting more deeper and deeper as we speak.
Hey, Zulfi, we'll take one more question, yeah, and then we have to move to the next session. Go ahead, please go ahead.
I need to stand up for this. It's a different kind of a one, and I was looking around and I saw another Sikh gentleman, so I need to first take his permission that he shouldn't feel offended if I said something because it's more like a Sardar thing. Okay, thank you. What stuck me and what's been striking me for some time is we talk about those loyalty cards and we talk about getting the data and the offtake data and knowing who the shopper is and a host of things on that. And I think Tesco's done the best with getting the info from Dunnhumby and all that stuff, so they know exactly how it is working. Now, coming straight back, if you were to be replicating stuff here back in India, how do you look at, I'm ignorant, therefore this question. Are you not intruding into the private life of the shopper? And if you are, and you turn around and say, I have a TNC at the time I gave the card, so I'm legally covered, right? Is it not possible for these guys or some people to get onto a PIL here, talking about, I come to shop with you, I pay you. You intruding into my life, what you're giving me back? One. The second part of this is, yes, I want the offers. You made a card, you gave me assurance of offers, and like you talked about the diapers, 3 months, and then in the next 3 months he gets a 6-month size or whatever. I want that. But nothing beyond. Why are you taking my data for your stuff? What are you giving me in return? Now, how do you handle the situation? Because it's not come up so far, but legally, what is the standpoint on this?
There is no legal standpoint currently. I was talking earlier about a healthcare provider we're doing a program for, and one of the things is that they want us, we're developing this program for them, is we're actually taking healthcare information of the consumer and analyzing that data and going back to them with something, I think, which is extremely personal and private in nature. And there is no legal, nothing. The world of me as a retailer pushing will change the dynamics of it as you as a consumer choosing. You pull rather than me push. That will happen over time. It means I can segment you and analyze you, and rather than me push something to you, is I segment you, analyze you, and give you a number of choices and offers. Now you pull what you want. So maybe that world will happen. I don't know the right answer to your...
I'm sure this is a debate which is going to happen in the coming times in a much more detailed fashion. It borders on privacy issues as well. I'm assuming apart from the legal aspect. But Zulfi, we need to thank you for this. Thank you for this masterclass. A round of applause for Zulfi Taib ji.